So, for the longest time, I've had this theory that with fantasy shows, when you look at them, if the props don't look good, then the writing is going to be terrible, just beyond terrible. And I started developing this theory at first with Game of Thrones. I'm not a fan of it, don't really know too much about it, but with the last season, I got called onto podcasts and had a lot of people ask me questions of how do the weapons, the armor, and all that look. And it was terrible. Then I asked them, how's the writing? They said it was horrible. So that kind of started forming a thought in my head. And then you have The Witcher. With The Witcher, when they first released, I believe it's the Nilfgaard armor, everyone memed it because it just looked horrible. And because of that, they took it down, started reworking everything, and it got to the point where I believe the best friend of the original writer of The Witcher works on the show now to make sure that they are following things through. Witcher's okay. It's good, has potential. It just needs to break whatever shell it's still in. Now, we have Amazon Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And oh boy, does it look horrible. First off, you have Galadriel, where during the Second Age she was already fully matured, so she should look more like Kate Blanchett, if anything, if they were following the Peter Jackson films, which they aren't, but Galadriel must be older, same with Lord Eldon. But, look at the armor. It's terrible. It looks like foam. When I first saw it, especially Galadriel, if it didn't have Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power on it, I thought it was a dollar store Ciri from The Witcher. And that's horrible. Where reason why I bring this up is because if the props don't look real, if they're like the actual soul and dedication is being put into the props, then how do you expect the writers to have soul and dedication? So, what I'm saying is that this show, from the start, we could tell that they don't care about Tolkien. They don't care about his work. They don't care about what Lord of the Rings actually is. Not just because of the different races. I'm just talking that they don't put effort, they don't put their soul into it. Where Peter Jackson, yes, his films have issues, they don't follow the book, but at least he put his soul into it to honor Tolkien. There's literally a quote of him saying, we are not doing this to put our ideas, our politics, our messages into the movies. We are doing it in honor of Tolkien. We want to make a movie for Tolkien. And they did. Where I know the Tolkien estate wasn't too much of a fan of Peter Jackson's films, but they were honored by them. Where this, however, oh boy, it's not looking pretty. It's not. And you can tell it just by looking at the pictures. Like, even in Lord of the Rings, even in the Hobbit movies and the trilogy, even like a character being dirty, it still looks beautiful. This, however, I have no idea. Like, people are comparing it to Narnia, but that's an insult to Narnia. I'm just saying. So it it doesn't look good. Where, let's see. I don't have it near me, but my wife has a LARP sword. But yet that thing has more dedication, more real look to it than the Rings of Power. And I'll slap on pictures just to show you some of it. It doesn't look good. Now here are the pictures of, well, the promotional pictures, but just looking at them, it does not look good. You can tell that these are fake and that these generally don't look like weapons. And you can tell, especially with the swords and either a short sword or what I think is a dagger, that it has a round handle. And if anyone knows their swords, you know that you never ever want a round handle because you cannot get proper edge alignment. And look at the armor. The armor does not look real, any of the metal. It has too much shine, too much light effect to it, where when I throw up the picture of my wife's LARP sword, where yes, I do recommend getting these to train with, you can see that the LARP sword looks more real than whatever this is. It doesn't look good at all. So now you can see why I am extremely worried about this show. But I'm going to do something different, and I ask you guys to do something different. Where instead of not watching the show, I'm going to watch it. But I'm going to be very, very critical on it. And I ask you, as a viewer of mine, to do the same. Whether it be going on social media and writing reviews or making YouTube videos. Our job now is to be extremely vocal about this and show Amazon that us as fans will not accept anything less than close to putting your soul into it. Where, yes, I know a lot of Lord of the Rings fans that hate Peter Jackson films, but they can all agree that Jackson put his soul into it in order to honor Tolkien. But Amazon is not doing that. No, they just see a cash grab, so they think being lazy can get them money. We aren't going to let that happen. So yeah, so I'll be watching it. I'll be writing reviews on it. And oh boy, it's going to be insane. But it will be interesting because I will be vocal. I will share my video everywhere I can. And I hope you share it too. I hope the message that we are going to hold Amazon to an impossible standard, to the point where they don't want to just buy the rights to anything just because they see money. They'll think next time, especially on who they hire and how they go about things. So that is what I am going to do. That's another reason why I'm making this video, hence my channel name, The Fighting Expert. I'm going to fight. This is how you fight Amazon. Unlike Disney, where you just don't watch, Amazon's different because they also have a store that people rely on. So the only way you can really fight is either not shop at Amazon at all, or you become very, very vocal. Being very vocal is the best option. And it's the most fun. So, I hope that this message reaches you, because I know enough about Lord of the Rings where I can still do research. I'm still learning about things. I've read The Silmarillion, Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King, The Hobbit. I'm reading the Unfinished Tales, where that's definitely a great book. But yes, this is how we fight Amazon. We become vocal, more vocal than those that they pay. And also, if the One Ring Net says that they are the true source of information, they're not. They're bought and paid for by Amazon. I recommend going to onering.com. I hope this video is good. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to do with it. If so, please like, comment, and if you like it enough, subscribe. I hope to be making more content. After all, I'm going to cover this show where honestly, it's going to be a trash fire. But I hope this video was entertaining enough. After all, there's still so much more to talk about, but right now, all we can really do is just get the message out. So take care, fighting crew. God bless. See you next time.
I do not fear this new challenge. Rather, like a true warrior, I will rise to meet it.